Okay, there we go. All right. Do this. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. We are live on TikTok. We are live on Instagram. What it do, everybody? How's everybody doing? All right. We got a good few questions coming in. Want to bring everybody to the party because we're live on multiple streams. How's everyone not doing out there in TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube land? I want to let more people get in the party, guys. It's gonna be a vibe tonight. We got a few good stories gonna be going across. We're gonna lay some things down. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on TikTok. TikTok is doing numbers right now, and I'm live on Instagram as well. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. I got a couple very good videos we're gonna present to you guys. Just talking about the market, talking about a few things you guys maybe perhaps are interested in. Um, I want you guys to ask me some questions. Or TikTok back up, come on. TikTok go. All right, there go TikTok. Let me make this screen smaller. TikTok. TikTok ask me questions. And I want to be able to answer TikTok's questions. Um, yeah, man. How's everyone doing out there on this beautiful, beautiful Monday? This is the Christmas episode. We're going to say Merry Christmas to everybody. We hope that everybody out there, right? We are hoping for everybody out there that you guys enjoyed your actual Christmas. That it was enjoyable. Let me know if my mic is a little bit, if my music is too high, guys. Once again, we're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We all around live. And TikTok is doing the most numbers. So shots out to TikTok. But guys, how's everyone doing out there, man? Man, how's everyone them doing? How's everyone doing, man? TikTok is jumping. Instagram's okay. YouTube is doing very well. So I have a couple of videos for everyone, right? And I just want to go over these videos with you guys. I want you guys to give me some feedback. I want you guys to give me some understanding, right? Let me move this over. Okay, number one, son, our mic sounds good. All right. Okay, happy holidays to everyone. Absolutely. Yes. TikTok, happy holidays to you over here as well. Let's see. Shouts out to Terry. See you over there TikTok. Shouts out to Brent. Shouts out to my man Sam. So Sam, we've been talking, we've been deliberating for the past few weeks, just breaking down the actual science behind how the market's going to get better. What's going on, number one, Stunner? We in here, baby. We in here. I mean, this channel is building slowly but surely. I got 100,000 views last week, so that's not bad. Happy holidays, everyone across the board. Hope everyone really enjoyed their Christmas. I had a very good Christmas. My wife made it an exceptional Christmas. She just got me to the little things I didn't think about. I'm like, damn, man, that's why I got married, right? That's a whole nother kind of podcast. We're not gonna do that. But yeah, man. So I got these videos I want to show you guys, and I want you guys to give me your honest feedback. All right, and you guys let me know if I'm getting too much feedback from my candle, because I'll blow it out. It's a wooden wick candle, so it kind of I don't want to mess with my podcast. So I'm gonna play the video, and it's gonna start off with a bang. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Is the music too loud? Is the music too loud? Shouts out to Brent, man. Brent Clevenger on TikTok. Shouts out to him as well. Let me play the video, guys. Everyone, Juan. Shouts out to Juan. Let me play the video for you guys. Let's get it pop.
So it's called Operation Highway Sentinel, and it is now in full swing. ICE ramping up its crackdown on illegal immigrant truck drivers following.
Hold on, guys. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. I'm gonna restart it because I didn't have my headphones on. Rookie mistake. Won't happen again.
Series of awful. So it's called Operation Highway Sentinel, and it is now in full swing. ICE ramping up its crackdown on illegal immigrant truck drivers following a series of awful, deadly crashes that took the lives of many people across several states. Absolutely. And with that, we welcome you to the second hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Martha McCallum. Bill and Dana have the day off, but I'm thrilled to be joined by Aisha in D.C. Hi, Aisha.
Good morning to you, Martha. Good to be with you. The news does not stop on this holiday week. I'm Aisha Husney, and we are tracking those federal agents arresting more than 100 illegal aliens during that sweep. And it targeted truck companies in California after a string of disasters on the road linked to commercial licenses issued under Governor Gavin Newsom. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says it is no longer.
We're gonna play this back one more time, guys. I don't think you guys understand the full impact of what's actually going on. So this is in California, and basically, feds did a sweep. That's what it basically means. Feds did a sweep, and they're cracking down more so than ever, right? They aren't playing any games. On this podcast, we have intelligent conversations. We talk about how the market is changing. And I was telling someone earlier, right? I said, man, it doesn't take much for the market to move. Like people think that trucking, right? Trucking has just always been there. Trucking has always been strong. But trucking has its ups and downs, fair enough, like any industry. But like in this specific market, it doesn't take much for it to swing. It just takes a natural disaster. It takes a pandemic. And whether their pandemics are on the scale of COVID, that's not here to debate. But what's to debate is what swings the market. And what we have on here in this video is basically, like I said, feds did a sweep. We're gonna play it from the top.
Deadly crashes that took the lives of many people across several states. And with that, we welcome you to the second hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Martha McCallum. Bill and Dana have the day off, but I'm thrilled to be joined by Aisha in D.C. Hi, Aisha.
Good morning to you, Martha. Good to be with you. The news does not stop on this holiday week. I'm Aisha Husney, and we are tracking those federal agents arresting more than 100 illegal aliens during that sweep. And it targeted truck companies in California after a string of disasters on the road linked to commercial licenses issued under Governor Gavin Newsom. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says it is no longer business as usual.
President Trump has said, make aviation and make our roads safer than the previous 4 years. He's given us that directive. These are rules that are set up to make sure our roads are safe. And so if you can't speak English, if you haven't gone through the proper training courses, you shouldn't be behind the wheel of a big rig. These are 80,000-pound vehicles that can be incredibly dangerous when things go wrong.
So our William Long.
I understand that, man. But once again, I'm here to talk about it from the economics perspective. It doesn't take much for the market to swing. And when I see little birth pains like this, I'm like, damn, okay, that means it's gonna get better. You ever notice in science class they talk about how forest fire is good for the forest? And I think that the recession of trucking is equivalent. With all these companies that burn down to the ground is going to be for the betterment of the future market.
Jeunesse is live in Los Angeles with all of the details on this operation. Good morning, William.
Hey, good morning, Aisha. You know, in many states like California, it's illegal for police to even ask a driver their immigration status, including those driving commercial trucks, which is why this administration is sending out ICE, Border Patrol, Homeland Security to checkpoints and shipping ports looking for illegal immigrants issued CDLs, commercial licenses, including California, where it blames Governor Newsom for illegally issuing thousands of those CDLs to undocumented drivers. Already, the state's revoked about 17,000 CDLs. More are under review after Duffy threatened to withhold millions in highway funds.
You know, you gotta kind of like this a little bit though, dude. 17,000. You know, the truth of the matter is California and New York play by their own set of rules. We did a story last week how we talked about 53% of commercial drivers out of New York was unlicensed. Were illegal, therefore unlicensed. We've seen that story. We've seen how all these accidents are just birth pains about a healing industry. It's a fire, man, and you know, once we're behind it and we see going into it how it's going to get better, we're going to benefit from it.
Problem is that you had Joe Biden that let tens of millions of people into the country, and then you have liberal governors who said, well, they got to work, so let's give them commercial driver's licenses.
So ICE arrested 101 undocumented drivers from India, Mexico, Colombia, Uzbekistan, Ukraine, Nicaragua, Russia, Republic of Georgia, Venezuela, El Salvador, and Honduras.
Everyone, when you're stopping them, what your immigration status is, that seems perfectly fair, perfectly reasonable, perfectly lawful. And it's unfortunate that certain states really do put public safety behind this open borders mass amnesty agenda.
So Border Patrol agents in El Centro also arrested 49 immigrant commercial drivers. California issued 31 of those licenses, but others came from Florida, Illinois, Ohio, and New York, where Secretary Duffy said.
Remember what I said about New York? Now listen, I didn't say that knowing this was going to show up. Sam, back me up on this, bro. We talked about New York, number one center. We talked about New York, I want to say a week or so ago. We talked about how 53%, was illegal. And I'm not mad about this. I'm not talking crap. It's just funny to me how these things are coming into prophecy. So I'm not against any immigrant of any kind. I'm really not. I just want to see the industry get cleaned. And my hat says American trucker. And I got to go on that sword. I understand that. You could be an immigrant and be an American trucker, but you can't be an illegal immigrant and be an American trucker. I got to go on that sword. I got to go on that sword, and I'm sorry, but we talked about how in New York, it was 50-some% that were illegal drivers, illegal immigrants. How can you compete with that? How can American trucking compete? I want to know, like, statistically, leverage-wise, how can you compete with someone who, first of all, is like 6 people in the truck? I'm just being honest. It's like 6, 7 people in the truck. They're all rotating, taking turns. We're seeing it on the videos. But New York and California just spits this shit out. They don't have no hold bars.
As 53% of the state's CDLs went to illegal immigrants. Yuma agents arrested this Indian national on I-10 near the Arizona border. So Aisha, here's the conflict, right? The Biden administration gave millions of asylum-seeking immigrants EADs, or work authorization papers, for months or years. 10 mostly liberal states, 40 others did not, said, great, let them make money driving a commercial truck, even though federal law had said no. Only U.S.
So they broke federal law. And I have a unique perspective of this, guys. I come from the bottom, right? Not the slums. I was blessed, but I come from the bottom. And being black, you couldn't go against the law in this order, but we have a whole state that said, man, just fuck the federal law. We're going to do what we want to do. How does that happen? Where was I the only person that had to pay repercussions for my actions? Because they doing it all willy-nilly. Come on, man.
citizens and legal permanent residents. So now Duffy wants those states to claw back some 600,000 of those licenses. Some states are saying no. Back to you.
Okay. William Lajeunesse live for us from Los Angeles. William, thank you. Martha?
All right. Well, joining us now with more, former acting DHS Secretary Chad.
I want some questions in the chat. What do you guys think about this, man? We're gonna continue to play the video. We can break the video down in sections. Want to actually digest it. I want to actually digest the purging of the industry. I don't want to just bypass this, guys, and like, oh, okay, the industry's getting cleaned out. No, are we not looking at the signs? Am I the only person in the room awake while everyone else is asleep? Like they're going hard at California, New York, and remember this, Texas is next. Texas is next. They going hard, man. They going hard. Burn the forest. I'll bring the lighter, Sam. They're going hard. So as we proceed with the video, we digest it differently. We have an opinion about it. We have a comprehensive conversation. And if not, we just enjoy the video for what it is. But I think it's informational to say the least.
Wolf. Chad, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. It is shocking to learn that over 100 people on the road driving these semi-trucks, in many cases, are here illegally, and in many cases don't speak the language, in some cases cannot read the signage that is on the roads, and we've seen the deadly result of some of this. Very tragic for families who lost their loved ones. Your take on this program and how it's working, Chad?
Yeah, I think this is.
My thing about it is, dude, you can't replace when somebody lost a loved one. And we have to look at this different. Because if this was a terrorist attack, we would be like, oh man, these people passed because of an attack, right? But it's because of negligent drivers. And to me, that's an attack. I don't know. I've been overseas. I'm well traveled. I've been to Mexico. I haven't been to the Middle East. Been to Europe. I'm well traveled. And they drive different. It's okay to drive different, bro. But they drive inherently different. And, what you have is people coming to the American system. First of all, our infrastructure is mainly different than a lot of countries. We don't talk about that. We talk about people coming from different areas and people driving a different way. Our infrastructure is different. Our infrastructure is way different than Mexico roads. You get to Cancun, you get to over there by Cabo, and the roads are horrible. Like, golly, do y'all even have money for a road? It's potholes everywhere. Y'all just got potholes and bumps. So when you're a driver and you come from a market or infrastructure that's just plain out different, it's different, bro. It's different because you ever notice when you land in the DR, or you land in Jamaica, or you land in Mexico, you ever know that airports is different than us? Well, I think our airports are just better. I'm sorry, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad, but their airports, I'm pretty sure they got some nice airports. I'm pretty sure they do, but the ones I've been seeing, it's not that good.
Concerning for millions of Americans who are on the roads in this holiday season, and you see these big trucks driving, and you're wondering who's behind the wheel of the road. Do they understand the language? Do they understand the street signs and everything of that nature? So look, I think the Trump administration is doing the right thing. What this tells you is that we are still digging out from the 4 years of the Biden administration the consequences of allowing 10 to 15 to upwards to 20 million illegal aliens to come into this country, stay here, get work authorization, and then get these CDLs from these 10 or so states. We're having to deal with this. So you have Secretary Duffy doing the right thing and other members of the Trump administration saying it's not right to have these folks on the road. We need to enforce the law. If these states won't do it, well, then we will send ICE in to do that job.
Yeah,
and you got to understand, doesn't it fit the agenda of the current administration? This is just up their alley. This is just up their alley. This is their perspective is like, man, let's just go ahead. This is their appetite. Like, this is what they want to do. They want to go into a industry where there's a record amount of illegal immigrants, and they want to take them out of the industry and use the industry as a test puppy, whatever you want to use it, and seeing how well it does. And they're going to have the analytics on it. And I believe because they want to see the industry survive and do well, I believe they enhance that industry. They push the industry forward. So trucking is the perfect prototype for the Trump administration to get in and find their way. You know, I wish fuel was cheaper. Fuel is still too high to me, guys. Fuel is way too high. Fuel should be way higher than what it is. Fuel should be, you know, a crazy amount, but fuel is very, you know, fuel is outrageous to me still. Let me see. What's going on on TikTok? Let me see. I have some technical difficulty. We're gonna play this video. I don't know what's going on TikTok. Play this video right for you guys.
And it seems like the basic standards that you would expect would be in place to make sure that people can read the signs, that they have the proper training, all of that we've learned are not happening in some of these cases, which is, you know, such a really an abandonment of just basic principles of safety that you would expect governors in places like California to want to uphold. I want to ask you about self-deportation and about how the removal process is going. I want to play this from Governor Pritzker, because he is hugging very close to his line that these are Nazi practices. And I want to give you an opportunity to respond to what he says. Watch.
They sent CBP and ICE dressed in uniforms with automatic weapons into neighborhoods, and they began literally stopping anybody who's brown or black and asking them for papers. I studied about the Nazi regime and how they did do that. I don't know any other regimes. Maybe other people have been required to prove their citizenship in a country just walking around.
Is that what's happening, Chad?
I don't know. I can't confirm or deny it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it happens. My biggest thing is right now, are they going to the truck stops and doing that? I don't know anyone that's a trucker, that's a legal trucker, that's an American trucker, that's going to be anti-illegal immigrants and trucking. I just don't. And there are some people who are, but, you know, they're running a certain kind of way, you know, so, but anyone who's playing the game the right way, and I'm all about, you know, winning at any cost, not any cost. I'm not going to sacrifice my morals, but I'm all about winning, right? And I still think that anybody who's an American trucker is going to be against the push of illegal immigrant truckers. They devaluing you guys.
No, it's not. It's not anywhere close. Governor Pritzker is an embarrassment. He has no idea what he's saying. And if he does, he's simply lying. ICE is not pulling over anyone because of the color of their skin. They have reasonable suspicion. They have targets. They go through.
Absolutely, gorgeous truckers. But see, and gorgeous trucker said, she said, I feel you. I feel like they're making illegal the scapegoat for a bigger problem. Perhaps. And I want to say escape guinea pig, because what they're going to do is they're going to suck all the illegal immigrants out of the industry, or they're going to try to scrape the illegal immigrants out of this industry. They're going to push agenda into it and try to prop it up and like, hey, look how we got trucking right again, right? And that'll be a good focal point the industry can hang their hat on, because who doesn't want to be behind the American trucker? You know, the nation's highway superheroes. So while it's a scapegoat, perhaps it is an angle, but it's also need to be cleaned. We did a video last week where 53% of the licenses held, commercial licenses held in New York, were from illegal immigrants. That's unacceptable.
Like any other law enforcement agency, they go through a number of steps to identify who it is that they want to interview, to detain, and then eventually arrest and remove, right? There are very specific protocols that they go through. So Governor Pritzker and others that just saying, oh, they're just stopping whoever they want to see, you know, on the side of the road. It's simply not the case. He has no idea what he's talking about. It does a disservice to ICE.
American trucker Gorgeous trucker says you have regular Americans that's doing the same thing, if not worse, but highlight has been on the illegals. That's a good perspective, right? But the whole angle to them is they're not supposed to be here in the beginning. That's the whole fight. You know, if I have a child at my house, right, and my kids don't let me know they invited a child to my house from school, they didn't tell me, and the child comes in there and they draw on the wall. And I'm like, you're not even supposed to be here. But if it's my kid, I'm not gonna be as mad. I'm not gonna obviously do anything to the kid, but I'm gonna be more mad. Like, damn, dude, you don't even stay here. Like, you know, you don't even supposed to be here, and you're ruining my house. And it's that much more worse because people have lost lives. I'm just saying a very mediocre, uh, watered down version of how I feel. But yeah, I mean, as we have these people exit the industry, how is it bad for the American trucker? It's going to be great for the American trucker, right? And I do know people doing worse. I don't know if I know people doing worse. I can't say that. I can't say that. I don't know people doing worse because what's worse than doing something that's bad? You're not even supposed to be there in the beginning. Like we know American truckers have accidents. They live here. They're from here. But you're not even supposed to be over here in the beginning. In the beginning. And you're having accidents. If you're going to be an illegal immigrant trucker, you think you would be clean, right?
Law enforcement agents, and it actually puts their lives at risk because when his constituents in Chicago or Illinois or any others on the left hear Nazism, they say, well, we've got to defeat those guys. We've got to go after them. And it's putting these officers and lives at danger. He needs to stop it. He needs to tone down that type of rhetoric. It's okay if you have a policy difference with the Trump administration. I get that. But ICE is doing what Congress told them to do, which is to enforce immigration law and to remove those that are here illegally. They're doing their job. We should support them. And Governor Pritzker is completely off base here.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's a struggle of war. Right now, the left and the right are struggling, and people need a hill to die on. You know, I'm not willing to die on the hill of not caring about people. That's crazy. But I am willing to go on the hill of capitalism and using that to benefit the people involved, American truckers. I'll go on that hill. That's a hill I'm willing to, you know, pass on. I die on like that.
The self-deportation process, depending on how you look at it, is going fairly well. Nearly 2 million people have chosen to take that route where they get to leave on their own and go back to their country and have a better situation if they want to try to seek re-entry to the United States than those who are arrested for being here illegally. Yeah. Chad, thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you.
Hey, everyone.
That's a good video, guys. I got one more. And TikTok, keep asking questions on TikTok. TikTok's doing pretty good. And put this other video up for you guys. Now cut the music up. Let's see. On Facebook as well. Facebook's picking up, huh? Let me see. Okay. All right, Facebook picking up. I like that. All right, let me put other video, guys. 1 second.
All right. Well, is that business?
Oh, I'm tripping. I'm on 4 different screens right now. Okay. All right, let's pull it back up, guys. I got it right here. Let me do this. Cancel this out. Do this. Okay. All right. So this is the fight back. This is what they're trying to fight back with, guys. So let's just see. Oh, okay. I have to go live from my phone. For whatever reason, let me see. It doesn't allow me to add people on live, right? I got a whole podcast set up. So My streaming services doesn't allow me to add people. I didn't know that until someone told me. But I could get you on the phone, or I can go live on my phone and I can add you in. Instagram on some bull. I'm on like a streaming service, so it doesn't allow me to let you join in. But I definitely get on live with you. We can chop it up. Let me know if you want me to go live from my phone. I'll end this one and go live from my phone. Or I can go live from my phone and in my Instagram feed and have my YouTube and stuff still playing. And I do a new Instagram feed. Just let me know. I can do that. Let me try to do this. Okay. All right, guys. We got a video. They're trying to fight back. All right. Like this one now. Come on, man. Ain't we stupid? All right. There we go.
The holiday travel season, as you know, alongside getting gifts from your family. And something that the Trump administration has been laser focused on when it comes to roads, something that impacts everybody, is cracking down on illegal immigrants who receive commercial driver's licenses and then wind up driving these big rigs and tractor trailers when they can't even speak English or read road signs. There have been a series of accidents and fatal crashes that have taken place across the country as a result of this. And Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has been spearheading the issue of getting these driver's licenses to be revoked and making our roads safer, and has threatened to withhold federal funding from several states because of this. California has actually responded to Secretary Duffy's request and said, okay, we are going to revoke 21,000 driver's license from.
That's a good start. That's a good start. That's a mean start. 21,000 is a good start, y'all. Y'all got to admit.
Migrants who have received them. And now it turns out that this group of migrants are suing the state as a result.
Right. So they've, in California alone, more than 17,000 have been yanked. Another 24,000 are under review right now. In these truckers, these immigrant truckers, many of them illegal immigrants, are suing. Here's a little bit of what.
Yo, we got to pause that. He ain't going to get past that. Nah, bro. You can't get past that.
Notified.
Look how he said illegals. Can we rewind this for a second? Like a little humor? That's crazy.
More than 17,000 have been yanked. Another 24,000 are under review right now. In these truckers, these immigrant truckers, many of them illegal immigrants, are
illegal immigrants. What the fuck is going on? Yo, you can know how to say illegals? Illegals, like, what's the emphasis on that? That's the equivalent of saying the hard R. That's the equivalent, bro. That's crazy.
Suing. Here's a little bit of what the lawsuit says. It alleges that on November 6th, the California DMV notified 17,299 immigrant drivers and business owners that their non-domiciled CDLs, that's commercial driver's licenses, would be canceled on January 5th, 2026. That's just days from now due to an error with the expiration date of the licenses. A similar letter was sent to an additional 2,700 drivers in December, informing them that their licenses would be canceled in mid-February. For all nearly 20,000 immigrants, the DMV intends to cancel their commercial licenses without any affording opportunity to obtain a corrected license or to contest the cancellation, the lawsuit reads. But let's remember the deadly results of allowing illegal immigrants not only to cross the border and be released in the country, but then to give them work authorization and commercial driver's licenses to operate 18-ton trucks, 18-wheelers on our roads.
Yo, this guy's hilarious. Gorgeous Trucker. We're gonna link. You know, Gorgeous Trucker. We're gonna link. We need to do an actual pod on this. We need to do like a little collab video where I go live, we hop on a live, we talk about it, and that way we can clip it up and get the clips from it. That's how we're gonna do it. And we just have unique perspectives. And we have a respectful conversation. And I would love to do that with you. I'm all about content. So that's the best way to do it. Because my current podcast setup, I can't add people in right now. They be hating on the brother. But I don't know. You know, my perspective is clear. I'm all about the American trucker. I do understand that there's an angle to where they can see seem scapegoatish, but on the flip end, I just have been told my whole life, just comply. If you don't break the law, you have nothing to worry about. That was the premises my whole life growing up. And I don't want to move the goalpost because it's a certain demographic of people. Because they didn't move the goalpost for me. You know how I go. Let's play that back.
Here's a list we can show you going all the way back to this summer in Florida. The illegal immigrant trucker killed 3, attempting to make that illegal U-turn. And back in October, another killed in a truck driving incident. In California, they've seen a number of incidences, to include in Ontario, where 3 were killed. And just last month, you had in Oregon another horrific incident that killed 2 after a truck jackknife. And then just weeks ago, in Tennessee, a Chinese national kills one by causing a deadly multi-vehicle pileup.
But here's the thing, right? You know, growing up, I was always see, like, when, you know, us my culture committed crimes and stuff, they would have a lineup up here, it'd be all black dudes, right? Johnson, Jackson, Smith, different last names, and African American, and I feel like they're doing the same thing. So you have a valid angle. I can respect it because, you know, Indian national, Serbian national, Indian national, Chinese, Indian. It's an agenda. It's an agenda behind it, but it sometimes the proof is just right in the pudding, man. It's right in front of you. You know, that's just where the proof is.
Washington State, you had an illegal immigrant trucker failed to decelerate and killed 1. And you know what's crazy is in those last 2 incidences, the Chinese illegal truck driver and the Indian illegal truck driver, those crossed in 2023 in Lukeville, Arizona, where I saw the immigrants coming across, these middle-aged men from all over the world. And in California, the Chinese individual crossed in San Diego, because I looked back at their alien files through my sources at Border Patrol, and you look back at the chaos that the border was, and you realized this is likely going to be a consequence, and yet the previous administration just let it run wild. That's why Secretary Duffy now, to your point, Carly, is leaning in. Here's a little bit of what he said.
Yeah, I mean, Duffy doing something, but if you want to do something for me, man, make fuel under $3 a gallon again. Make it like $2.50 again. Make diesel. You want to move the needle? Make diesel like $2 a gallon, bro. And then diesel never should be more than gas. Why is diesel more than gas? Diesel used to be the cheap fuel nobody wanted, right? Like that's what diesel was. Nobody want no diesel truck, but now diesel more than gas. Man, come on.
These are simple rules. These rules are not made up by the Trump administration. I didn't make them up. These are rules that are set up to make sure our roads are safe. And so if you can't speak English, if you haven't gone through the proper training courses, you shouldn't be behind the wheel of a big rig. You had Joe Biden that let tens of millions of people into the country, and then you have liberal governors who said, well, they got to work, so let's give them commercial driver's licenses and put them on the American roads, endangering the safety of the American people. So I can't go in across the states and do these checks. I have to rely on the state's law enforcement to help me out. But what I can do, Brian, is I can pull their money. That's the leverage that I do have. I guarantee you that the federal taxpayer is not going to fund their roads and bridges and their systems when they're putting illegals on the roads and endangering the lives of the American people.
You know, he got the power. He might don't make laws. He might not be able to shape, you know, how things are ran in different states. But damn it, he controls the money. Hey, and when you control the money, you control everybody else. You hear me? He controlled the money. He said that. He dropped the nuts with it, like, yeah, but I control the money. That's the key. That's the biggest key. He controls the money, man. You know, and they're gonna eventually bow down because they have to comply to get that money. No, nothing is worth more than that money to any state. We're talking probably millions or damn near $1 billion.
What you saw right there is a picture of righteous indignation. I mean, Sean Duffy's pretty even-keeled. He's upset, and rightly so, because you're not just putting American lives at risk. You have been irresponsible. If your state's doling out CDLs to just anybody, they can't read the signs, they can't speak the language. California and New York, and I think those are probably leading the way here. And
Now, we talked earlier on this very podcast, and we talked about how California and New York was leading. That was my own personal perspective. We have not watched these videos up until this point, and it's a common theme. California and New York do what the hell they want to do. But here's the thing, even in society now, California and New York sets the tone for a lot of things, finance trends, culture. California and New York is a big part, if not the biggest parts of the country. So if they're allowing it, what does it allow to other states and signal to them? It's crazy. California and New York is leading it.
Responsible. If your state's doling out CDLs to just anybody, they can't read the signs, they can't speak the language. California and New York, and I think those are probably leading the way here. And I'm thankful, not just for us as Americans, but for the people who are out there on the roads. Whether you're American or not, you deserve safety, and these people have to be properly trained. And if they are not, they should not be behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound rig. I mean, this is outrageous, and so thankfully they're finally.
Somebody on Instagram said Illinois. They ain't ready for that talk yet. They ain't ready for the talk about the Russians. I know very little about them. Not very. I know some stuff. We ain't ready for that talk. We not ready to discuss how a whole subset culture controls a certain area, from the insurance to the trucks. I mean, I'm not against it, but they got a lot of power. So, hey, that's another conversation.
Making some strong decisions. And Carly, you mentioned it. By eliminating the funding, it will finally compel these states to do the right thing and get these dangers off the road.
And not every truck driver who's getting their license revoked in California is here illegally.
Yeah.
But the number one point of the government on a state level, federal, local, is always
Safety.
to keep Americans safe.
Yep.
And if there are people who are receiving licenses who are in this country and they don't speak English and they don't read road signs, and they're getting these work authorizations that allow them to operate these massive big rigs, and we've seen the footage of a result of what happens.
Crazy.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
And it's a very good thing that's.
Yeah, them Russians, man, they got a whole layout. They got a whole system. They got A to the Z, and you gotta honestly respect how organized they are. Outside of people being racist and stuff, and outside of people disliking them, the Russians are really strong in Illinois. And it's admirable. I know people can get in position, but damn it, bro, I would love to see that kind of admiration and power in Atlanta amongst the black truckers here, because Atlanta and Texas, Houston, and Dallas, they have a culture of trucks like not Mexico. California does too. They have the culture of trucks, the culture down there, bro. And that's what a lot of people overlook, the actual culture to this shit. My man CDL Shorty, he got a gear shift tattooed on his hand. That shit means something, bro. That shit actually means something to some people. So, I'm gonna finish this video out, and I got one more video for you guys.
Eliminating the funding, it will finally compel these states to do the right thing and get these dangers off the road.
And not every truck driver who's getting their license revoked in California is here illegally.
Yeah.
But the number one point of the government on a state level, federal, local, is always
Safety.
to keep Americans safe.
Yep.
And if there are
American
people
trucker.
who are receiving licenses who are in this country and they don't speak English and they don't read road signs, and they're getting these work authorizations that allow them to operate these massive big rigs, and we've seen the footage of a result of what happens.
Crazy.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
And it's a very good thing that something is changing.
You know what hasn't changed is the Democrats and.
I don't want to talk about politics. He about to suck somebody off. Okay. Here's my thing. Here's my educated market analysis. It doesn't take much for a market to swing. You got to know that. We have to have this premise of trucking, because trucking has always been that market. When trucks are called on, the money's always good, whether it's hurricanes, catastrophes, COVID. Whenever there's a catastrophe, trucks are its most valuable, right? And the whole ideal of trucking was that it wasn't a lot of people doing it. It was a rarity to it, right? There was a sense of camaraderie because everyone couldn't do this. And when you flood people into a market and you water the market down, and you have people who will do loads illegally and who do loads different than what you do, it ruins the rates. I also brokered. I had people bidding on loads that was coming out of Savannah going to Griffin, and I would try to get it for like $750. I think that's a decent run. And these people are doing it for $350. I know these things. This isn't just a conversation I'm just pulling on my ass. This is a conversation I actually had. And we're hoping that rates go higher. We've been seeing in other videos how the Trump ICE specifically is gearing up to do a sweep. And I'm being real, bro. I have seen so many people swept off the streets. I don't feel bad for an industry where there's supposed to be regulations in. I don't. I don't feel bad for an industry where there's supposed to be some kind of regulation. And here's the thing about trucking, like you gotta understand, in trucking, if you get frauded or somebody do you dirty, there's no commissioner you can go to. The FMCSA commissioner, yo, ABC trucker did me wrong. Oh, the broker didn't pay me the money. You stuck figuring out. It's the wild, wild fucking west. If I'm in insurance, bro, and you come to me for a policy, and I am in insurance, and I will never do this because there's a reason, because there's checks and balances. You come to me for a policy, and you pay me the money. That's okay. All right, and I just write you a piece of paper, right? And you have a claim and you use it. You can go to the insurance commissioner. There's a commissioner who looks over your situation, say, hey, okay, well, this is a fake policy. Oh, like, oh, hey, nah, he wrote you a real policy. The insurance company just got to figure this shit out, right? Why am I saying this? If you got done wrong in trucking, which I have multiple times, with brokers, it got to be checks and balances. If you're a trucker who out here bidding on loads and somebody taking the cheap ass rates, you gotta understand there's no checks and balances. Period. And we come on here and I don't say too much of that, you feel me? Because I'm just watching videos. I'm eating Skittles. I'm about to get ready to go to the gym in the morning. I'm chilling. But we gotta have an honest conversation at some point about, how we're feeling about the industry getting purged out. But he about to suck the Republicans off. Go ahead and listen to it.
Many in the mainstream media simply making the case that what President Trump and this administration has done to crack down and secure our border from dangers just like this, that it's somehow mean-spirited and cruel to say if you cross the border illegally, then that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. You should just be allowed to stay, despite the fact that we have laws on our books that Congress passed, Title 8, Code US 13.
My thing about it is, bro, too, why aren't we hearing about employers getting fined millions and millions of dollars for this kind of shit? Okay, so if you're on a different side of truck and you won't understand this, I'm gonna give y'all a game. So one of my insurance partners is a guy down in Texas. Prior to all this, they used to write a lot of HB1 drivers. This is what this insurance company specifically did. They wrote a lot of HB1 drivers. And to write these drivers, I'm just telling you a story. I can't tell you verbatim who it was, right? But to write these policies, it had to be an opportunity zone by the border. So what would these truckers do? This is during buying era. Real talk. These truckers will live in Mexico, cross the border, and it'd be a time period where they gotta go back home. They gotta cross the border. They go get their trucks, and the truck be located near the border. It's a zone. Pick the truck up, go through the nation. Being the nation, being the greater America for 21 days. This is something I've been told, right? And how do you compete with somebody who don't even live here on the road? Okay. I'll keep up one day.
25. If you cross the border illegally, you've committed a crime. Do it a second time, it's a felony. But yet, here's the AP talking about a Venezuela's family's Christmas, saying from the American dream to poverty. And they're leaning into the sympathy of migrants, saying this was not the Christmas that Mariela Gomez would have imagined a year ago, or the one that thousands of other Venezuelan immigrants would have thought. But Donald Trump returned to the White House in January and quickly ended their American dream. Her two sons and her partner returned to the city of Maracay on October 27th after crossing the U.S.-Mexican border to Texas, where they were quickly swept up by the Border Patrol amid the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. They were deported to Mexico, from where they began the dangerous journey back to Venezuela.
Did you notice?
How y'all feel about that? Be real. How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? They have that they had to cross the. I'm not trying to laugh. How y'all feel about they had to cross the? They had to go back to Venezuela, man. That's funny. I'm not ain't it funny, but I feel about that. You know, I don't have a dog in the fight, man. I don't. I don't have a dog in the fight, unfortunately. But I just think that, you know, the less people in, the more you win. Let's keep going.
Said immigration. They didn't say illegal immigration. They always blindly ignore the fact that there are ports of entry. There are ways to come to and we love immigration in this country. We want as many legal immigrants as the system can handle. But in this circumstance, again, they're playing a little sleight of hand with the language, and this is exactly your point.
Yeah, they want to argue that crossing the border illegally is a form of acceptable immigration.
Exactly.
And to your point, Kevin, it's simply not.
That's right.
And the people overwhelmingly voted across partisan lines, across all demographics, that what we saw in the past 4 years, the border crisis, is not acceptable.
That's right.
And we're sadly reporting daily on the deadly consequences. But yet, you know, that AP article really rubs me the wrong way, because no one wants to be cruel, but we either have a country of laws or we don't.
That's right.
And we either have a border or we don't. And that's what this administration is making the decision to say we do, and we're going to enforce.
Okay, I get it. He loves the immigration policy the administration has. Blah blah blah. I'm not gonna let him stretch a point. I get it. I get it. I'm fall for that. You know, a lot of these conversations we're having is not to target a certain kind of nationality of people. Because obviously you can be Indian, you can be African, you can be Serbian. I'm just talking about the video we've seen. You can be Indian, African, Serbian, Chinese. You can be a range of different characters, right? And get that's a legal immigrant status. So drop a question mark in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. I think I'm done, man. I might do another one of these. I might do one Thursday. I might do one tomorrow. I'm gonna just start doing more, man, because I like you guys. I love the content. Um, I like to be in front of you guys. I appreciate you guys. I've been getting a lot of feedback. I want to keep it pushing. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna end it with insurance. There's a process you usually go through it. When doing insurance, is there a process you usually go through to see who's illegal or not legal? No. The underwriters would see. The underwriters get their license number, and we don't know their legal status. We don't. I wouldn't if they got a Georgia license and they're in Georgia. I couldn't tell if they're legal or not legal, and nor would I ask. Would I care? You know, I try to do things the legal way. I don't want to do things because at one point I just they had HB1 drivers, right? And I know a specific insurance company, that knew this carrier that would get people from Mexico, and they would go to the opportunity zones by the border. And that was the big things. But the underwriters can tell a little bit more deeper about their immigration status. That's the underwriter's job. We do a tier of underwriting where we go through the policy, where we go through information of the guy, and we try to see if it fits. But you know, they see things way deeper than we do, so that's their job. Yeah. But you know, I'm all about illegal drivers, right? No, Jesus, legal drivers. Oh my God, I'm all about legal drivers. So if I meet a guy and he's got his driver license and it's clean, it's not honestly my job to be asking people they status. It's just not. It's just not. You know, because who knows what they could be going through as far as like they might be getting it right. You know, so you know, if no problem, me and my dog, Sam. If they had an unclean driving record, but here's the thing: I met a lot of people who are immigrants and they have an unclean driving record. I know a lot of people like that. I know more people that are immigrants that have bad driving records than Americans for sure. I'm not gonna lie about it. That's the honest truth. I sometimes I see myself. But um, man, I appreciate you guys. Guys, I appreciate you guys, right? Um, I go by the moniker, the name, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm my daughter, guys. Elmo, baby. She was Elmo. Say bye, y'all. Hey, bye. We out of here, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. TikTok was lit. Instagram was lit. Greatly appreciate it. Anybody got any more questions before I get off the chat? About to go spend the rest of the night with my daughter. Hey, babe. You guys be blessed. And I couldn't find the live on TikTok. Sam, my restream has been getting weird on TikTok. I was live on TikTok. Then they took it down. I don't know why I took it down midstream. But I'm good on Facebook. I'm good on YouTube. And I'm good on Instagram right now. TikTok be hating on me. I don't know why I do that. So y'all be blessed, man. We out of here. Play one more time.